Welcome to another Demarcation Media Mega Construx review. Today we're going to be taking a look at some more customs from Matty Crafts. Now I'm sure a majority of you have already seen photos of this floating around out there, either from Matty Crafts himself or just from other people reposting it. But yes, this is the Flood Scorpion, and I gotta say, I respect the dedication to the floodifying the world goal here, because I would not have the guts to turn an entire scorpion into a flood covered thing. But not only is it just a scorpion, but it's most of the figures as well. Or actually, no, it's all the figures. So we are going to take a closer look at all of this. And you know what? Let's go ahead. We'll jump in and start with Spartan Stone. As if Spartan Stone's death wasn't horrifying enough, we have an alternate version here, alternate kind of version of history, where instead of just getting killed by Jaga, Stone has been assimilated into the Flood, and now she has this very grotesquely tall torso. And of course we have the signature infection form arm. Very just every time I look at these customs, these flood customs from Matty Crafts, the disgusting detail that he manages is shocking every time. Look at this, the weird lumps. The armor's all broken. We can see all the infection stuff twisting up and out. There's just some kind of smears of biomass around the legs. Looks like Stone was using an AR when she was assimilated and infected, and then we have the little feeler tentacle things sticking out the front. Now these ones look to me like actual a Mega Construx piece that he painted, which is pretty cool. It's pretty cool that the pieces retain their flexibility even with the paint on it, because a lot of paint will harden and make rubber pieces not really work. Now I grabbed my Spartan Stone because I wanted to put in the non-infected version next to the infected version. So you can see, first of all, look at the height difference. So that's terrifying. And then you can just really see how just the armor is destroyed. Look at that. Oh, that's terrible. Poor Stone. Like I said, she had a bad enough death as it was, but to be infected by the Flood on top of that, that's so bad. Oh, what a way to go out. And then the whole figure has a gloss wash, or not wash, top coat to add to the kind of slimy feel. What an end. What an end. Spartan Stone wasn't the only one to fall to the Flood. We also have the Elite Warlord, who was in the set as well, and he has also been completely destroyed by the Flood. So it looks like he's got one arm kind of operational here. The Flood can more effectively use it for slashing, I guess, when it's more intact. The legs are mostly intact, although we have some biomass clustered on the foot, probably breaking out through the armor there. I really like this arm. It's two blades. There's no hand. It's just kind of this blade section. It looks almost like bone, and it can still articulate a bit. There's some purple blood on the shoulder. Again, we have the little rubber feelers poking out. All the twisted, gross mess. Oh my word. His mouth is open like he's screaming. That's terrifying. The helmet's all twisted up. I'm not totally sure about this method of making the helmet look broken. Maybe I think it could have used a little bit of dirt wash or something on there to make it look fully broken. As it is, it just looks a bit twisted, and since this is gold, the stress marks show up. So it just, that part looks a little odd to me. I do like how this section of armor is just completely missing, and we can see into, again, all of that gross little slimy details. And then stand upright. I had to bring in the before. You know what, let me switch the sword so we can have it even more identical here. There's before and there is after. Look at that. It literally looks like he exploded from the inside out. The poor guy. He didn't deserve this fate. You know, he might have been serving the Banished, but still, even the Banished hate the Flood. And yeah, the Flood is just a terrifying, terrifying creature in general. Creature, or is it creatures? They're all kind of like one creature, but also multiple creatures. Anyway, I think that's a pretty effective end result. Like I said, the only thing that looks a little weird to me is the way the helmet is twisted. It looks not quite as realistic as it could, but the rest of it, especially the arm, that arm looks like it would be very effective at like slashing and hacking, and that's kind of terrifying. Even the 2 hunters fell to the Flood, and each of these guys is different. It's not just like the same method of making them be infected. They're both unique. So this guy here, he's got the infection form sticking out of his chest. The head is like popping way off, like maybe some of the worms that made up the head tried to escape, but couldn't quite make it. There's some bits of other infection forms popping out the back. They even covered up the fuel cells for the plasma cannon. There's all kinds of gross detail on the legs. Armor's kind of breaking out the back, which is pretty impressive, seeing as hunter armor is very, very strong. We got the other infection forms. Is that part of the infection form going down the side? It's like a viney looking, almost like a spine. And then the shield is this massive crab claw looking, I don't even know what this is. I guess it'd be like a smashing weapon of some sort. Or maybe it's pieces of metal that the Flood pulled onto the shield. I don't know, but the result is terrifying. Like, the hunters are beefy and imposing as it is, but adding this giant crab claw thing, it just adds to the whole layer of disturbing. And then this guy has something similar, but this is more like a claw, kind of similar to the arm on the Elite Warlord, but this time it's like 3 times bigger. We have some of the feeler things coming out here. This guy's head is a little more intact, but there's like almost like a spine here. There's the infection form sticking out. We have another like blade on this arm, and then all kinds of other gross little lumps. And then, oh wow, this one has more on the lower legs. Some more like the wrapping, almost spine-looking stuff. That's so gross. It's so gross. And again, the dedication to just floodifying everything is kind of impressive, because I would not ever have the guts to do that to my hunters. Here for comparison, here is one of the hunters non-floodified. They're a little more agile looking when you look at them after seeing the masses of flesh that these guys have become. That's got to be some kind of infection to get both of these guys, because hunters are really difficult to infect as far as I know. So, like, literally there has to be a full just planetary consumption by the Flood. Like, there's no way that these hunters would have been taken down otherwise. And then the last of the figures is this trio of infected ODSTs. Now, these guys did not come from the Scorpion set. These are, I think, they're from the drop pods, like the metallic drop pods, the shark face ones. And I think he painted over the shark teeth. I think. I could be wrong. I think he painted the black on, but I can't tell what the base color was. So it could be from there. I'm not sure. Mostly I was judging by the hands. The hands look like the... Oh, you know what? The hands look like the dark red metallic. So I think this is probably the dark red metallic ODST. Something like that. But either way, this guy has the like iconic infected Flood arm, which can still articulate. The chest plate is like all falling off, and the Flood is just popping out over top. The head is, of course, being shoved off to the back. There's kind of broken armor back here. The shoulder armor broke, and there's now biomass peeking out. But he managed to keep a hold of his pistol, which is not good. Now the Flood has a pistol. And then these feelers are actually all like custom molded, so they're a little bit more rigid than the other like official rubbery ones. So we have him, and then we have another one who's got his head twisting the other way. He's very similar. He's got the same sort of arm. This time he has no shoulder armor left at all, and part of the chest plate is missing, and he's got a shotgun, which is not good. And his fingers have turned into biomass as well. The back plate is mostly here still, and the head has like tentacles wrapping around the front. And then this one, the last one, he doesn't even have his helmet anymore. That is actually terrifying. There's like the remnants of a head in there, and you can see like the eyes and the mouth, and there's like green leading out of the mouth, which is horrifying. That's genuinely terrifying. And then the gun this time has been turned into this lump of flood mass. There's like twisting little tendrils and then a spike, but he's got to keep holding it at an awkward angle since the flood doesn't really care about proper weapon stances. They just kind of walk around and shoot. There's some more biomass on the leg. The arm looks pretty good. You can still articulate. The shoulder is broken, and then the back plate is almost entirely gone. So that, I think, it's a pretty good trio of figures. I like the way these turned out a lot, actually. These look like something you could find in-game. Like, imagine Halo 3 ODST, but it's the Flood instead of the Covenant. Yeah, I think these came out pretty darn good. And here is the Scorpion itself. This Scorpion has definitely seen better days. It does not look like it's going to be doing much good for the UNSC anytime soon. It's just completely overrun with Flood. Now, we've actually seen oh, the tread is coming apart. No. That's what happens in shipping, I guess. There we go. We've actually seen a Flood-infected vehicle in Mega form before with I think it was the Floodgate set, had the infected ghost, but they've never done something quite to this scale, and it's something that would definitely be able to happen in the Halo universe. Look, we got the poor Marine. He's just like in here. Is he removable? I think he is, but because he's posed in that way, I don't want to like try and get him out. But yeah, it looks like he died while shooting his turret. The big turret can actually still move, even up and down a bit. There's like a piece of infection form up here. There's little tentacle things here. There is a banished brute that got assimilated into the mass over here. And then if we rotate around to this side, there's an Elite Ultra that also got pulled into the mess. There's another infection form. There's just more of that gross detailing here. It looks like the back, this is like the cleanest section, but there's like bullet dings and holes. Over here, there's like a bunch of holes. Looks like something big shot it all up, which is kind of cool looking. I like that. I think maybe it could have used a little bit of silver paint just splashed in there to make it look more scratched. The cockpit is completely fused shut. You can't get in there anymore. Not like the Flood really needs to, because it's probably like inside the machinery of this thing at this point. That is super, super disgusting. And actually, I wanted to bring in my uninfected Scorpion just so you can see the difference here. Oh, I knocked my barrel off earlier while I was trying to pick it up, and it's still crooked. There we go. Look at that. Look at the absolute gory mess that is this Scorpion now. Actually, while we're in closer, there's that Elite Ultra. You can see like his head over here and then his shoulder. There is the Brute over here. It's got some blood. I guess Brute blood is the same color as human blood? I never realized that was the case. Or maybe that's just human blood, I don't know. But yeah, look, you can just see how much it's been taken over. Now, mine obviously does look a little different just because I removed the shooting mechanism from mine. Because I did not like that. That was a dumb mechanism. This one, wait, actually, can this still shoot? No, it cannot. The barrel is stuck in place, I guess. Yeah, I think it's gotten stuck in place by the top coat, maybe? Because there is like a glossy top coat over the whole thing, just to make the fleshy tone look more disgusting. I mean, look at that. Look how the light's hitting this big section there. Oh, and see, the Marine, he was just doing his job, and then he just got completely overtaken. Maybe it came at him from underneath. That's kind of a terrifying thought. That's pretty impressive. Again, it's not something I would ever have the guts to try myself. Like, I could not do that to my Scorpion. I would, I don't know. I mean, I don't possess a skill to make Flood that looks like this anyway, but still, like, maybe if I had a couple extra Scorpions, I would attempt it. Maybe. But let's see. Can we see anything in there? Okay, it's just the normal compartment in there. But yeah, that's terrifying. Let's see, can we get stone up there? Look at that. You know, Scorpions are formidable as is, and it would suck to be like in a battle with, you know, the Banished, and say the Banished took one of your tanks and was shooting at you with it. But a Flood-infected one, because you would have to stop the tank from moving, you'd have to kill all of the biomass that's taking this over. Because even if you get the tank to stop, the biomass can just like creep around back into the machinery and make it keep moving. You'd have to literally like nuke this thing. Honestly, you'd probably want to do that anyway, just because, you know, it is covered in Flood. That, honestly, that lump right there looks almost like a carrier form head. So like maybe that's full of infection forms. I don't know. That's super gross. Again, just the detail, the amount of just slimy little gross details on this is it's just terrifying. It's absolutely terrifying. Well, there you have it. That is another bundle of very disturbing and kind of gory customs. I gotta say, Matty Crafts has pretty much gotten the Flood creation process down to an art at this point, because, you know, a lot of people do it for figures, but not a lot of people do it for such large scale things like the Scorpion. And again, I would not have the guts to try that myself, but I would say the end result is pretty darn convincing. Like, it really looks like the Flood was just like, yoink, give me the Scorpion. And now we have a flesh-covered murder weapon just rolling around out there. The ODSTs in particular turned out really good. This guy's little head, I don't know how he made the head, if he just sculpted all of it himself or what, but it's very effective. It just adds an extra layer of disturbing to the whole figure. Poor Spartan Stone. That was, you know, dying is bad enough, but like, not really dying and turning into this mushy, walking, shooting mass of flesh is just no way to end. So yeah, I will put the link to Matty Craft's channel in the description, as well as his Instagram. Huge thanks to him for sending me these to look at. I always, looking at these Flood customs, it's like equal parts, like this is really cool, and also this is really just downright disgusting. I'm not even sure if I want to touch it. Like, that's how good these are. Like, legitimately, I was like, do I touch the tank? It looks like it's gonna get me. I think that's pretty cool. I think the end results of all of these are pretty darn good. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and consider subscribing, and I'll see you next time.